Welcome to all children. In previous class we have completed chapter 2, right? Food and health. Today we are going to learn about safety and first aid. Okay? So what are the safety rules and then first aid, right? So how can we give first aid for the different cuts and wounds and fracture and burns? Okay? How can we give first aid? So first of all we should know some rules. Okay, we can keep ourselves safe from the fire accidents. So it has some rules, so we should follow it. We should carefully handle matchsticks, candles and gas stove. We should avoid wearing nylon and synthetic cloths while cooking because they can easily catch fire. Okay, so we should avoid it. And then regularly we should check the electrical wiring. So we should check it regularly. And then there is a gas leakage in our home means what we want to do, we should not use lighter, matchbox and operate any electrical switch. And first we want to open the doors and windows of the house. Okay, then only that gas comes out. Okay, and small children should not light firecrackers themselves, they may dangerous. Okay, so you should ask help from your parents, elders. So even adults should also be careful while lighting crackers. So we should follow these things. Okay, so we can avoid the fire accidents in our home, right? So even play, you should not play with the electrical appliances. Okay, in our home you have no electrical appliances, so you should not use it. So should not play with that, right? And then firefighting. So how can we put out by the fire? So how can, what are the methods used to put out the firing? Okay, so when that fire is catched by the wood and paper means how can we switch put off? So we should just throw the water, right? So we should throw water means it is easily put off, isn't it? In case of that fire is caused by petrol means what happened, it extinguished by throwing sand, right? We should not use the water because it is that petrol and oil, so these things are very light than the water, right? So it is float on water and continues to burn, so it is not put out. So we should use sand in case of petrol or oil firing. And sometimes the person catches fire means their clothes catches fire means what we want to do, ask them to roll on the ground. Okay, so cover him with a blanket or a overcoat, so then only that these type of fire can put off. And then fire is caused due to the electric short circuit. So in this case we do not throw water on it because water may give you electric shock. So this type of fire can be extinguished by throwing sand over it. So we should throw sand over it. So switch off the main supply immediately to prevent spread of the fire, right? So we should first switch off the main supply in case of electric short circuit. And smaller fire, so very small fire accidents, what we want to do means, so a special device is there, so that is called fire extinguisher. So if it is uh, in our in schools and common places it has. Okay, and first aid. So what does mean by first aid means the immediate help given to the injured person before uh, bringing them to the hospital. So that is called first aid. Okay, so first aid for cuts and scratches. So what, how can we give first aid for the cuts and scratches. A small cut or there means. So clean the wound with running water to remove dirt, and then apply the antiseptic cream and cover the wound with a clean and dry gauze. Okay, and then first aid for fracture. So how can we give first aid for the fractured person? So take a piece of cardboard or wood, anything, okay, tie it around the fractured part to give support. So that is called a splint. Okay, so this prevent movement of the broken bone, right? And then bone of hand is broken. Our hand is broken means make a sling using a cloth. Sling means it is nothing but we have take a cloth and make a bandage, and this sling gives support to the arm, right? So and then leg is fractured means tie a splint around the fractured leg. Okay, and then take the patient immediately to the hospital for the further treatment. Okay, so this is the first aid for the fracture. And then first aid for minor burns. Okay, so for minor burns, we should first wash the burnt area under cool running water for some time, and then apply antiseptic cream or a paste of baking soda on the burn. And then chemical burns. So in case of chemical burns, remove the cloths around the burnt area, place the wound under running water, and then dry and loosely wrap a clean bandage around it. Okay, and then call the doctor immediately. So in case of chemical burns, what we want to do, wash with running cool water and then cover, and then bring them to the hospital. So that is for the in case of chemical burns. Okay, and then so in anything we should first wash the burnt area. And then severe burns. So in severe burns means, so that is we should must bring them to the hospital immediately. Okay, so in some blisters are there. So blister means it is nothing but swelling on the skin, usually filled with water. So we should not prickled. Okay, so do not try to remove any piece of cloth stuck on the burnt area, or apply any cream or ointment. So first we should bring them to the hospital immediately for the severe burns. And then you have some activity. Okay, so collect some more information about the fire extinguisher, right? So how can we use it? So you want to collect these informations. Okay,